Kia ora and welcome along to the Met Service National Forecast from today, Thursday, the 6th of July. Well, we've got plenty of clear sky across New Zealand as we start the day. Nice clear skies across many parts of both islands, but we have got a bit more active weather starting to push in from the Tasman Sea. You can see this area of cloud out towards the far west there. That's going to push in towards us as we go through in towards Friday, and it sticks around as we head in towards the weekend as well. But for the rest of this afternoon, plenty of clear sky, and for many of us, it's a dry story as well. A few showers around the coast. It's worth saying if you're heading across towards the Chatham Islands, it is looking like a rather blustery day through there, some heavier rain as well. So it is looking like a wetter story through there. But for many of us on the North Island, South Island, it is looking like a dry day with plenty of clear sky thanks to that area of high pressure. As you can see though, out towards the west, we have got that next front. It stays away through most of the daytime, but as we head through the night, we'll find that the front just edges closer towards those more northern parts of Northland as we head in towards the early hours of the morning. But for many of us, it's a dry night, and with some clear skies to come, it will be a rather cold one, especially for those inland parts of, say, the North Island and the Central Plateau there, looking at temperatures back down towards freezing, -1 degree Celsius, the likes of, say, Taupo, down towards Wellington and out towards Wairarapa. Still pretty cold through here, even cold enough for a touch of frost once again on the Kapiti coast. And down on the South Island, plenty of clear sky, plenty of light winds as well. Temperatures back down to about -3 degrees Celsius in Queenstown. A chilly old start today, first thing on Friday. As we head through the daytime on Friday, you can see this high pressure slowly moves out towards the east as this next front just pushes in from the west, bringing with it some heavier falls of rain through parts of Northland and Auckland. And by the end of the day, that reaches down towards, let's say, the Coromandel and the Bay of Plenty as well. Drier weather down through Wellington, up in towards Hawke's Bay, and also down most of the South Island. You can see even up towards the northern parts there for the likes of Nelson. We'll find that wet weather moving in as we head through the daytime. But for many of us, it is a dry and fine start today. A chilly start, it has to be said, particularly from, say, Wellington up towards Gisborne, Tairafti, and down towards Wanganui. You can see that cloud pushes in from the west as we head through the daytime, along with that wet weather through Northland and Auckland. Could be one or two heavier bursts, so it's worth keeping an eye on the forecast as we head through the daytime. Some clearer skies perhaps towards the end of the day, but I think generally it turns cloudier across the North Island with that rainfall pushing in from the west as well. Here's a look at our temperatures. Remember that cold start. It's not going to be as cold as we go through the nighttime Thursday night into Friday. You can see our minimum temperatures here, 6s and 8s for the likes of, say, Rotorua and Taupo. Very different from those frosty ones we'll start the day with, but it will be a cloudier, wetter and windier night as we go through towards the end of the week. As we head down towards the South Island, starting off, plenty of dry weather, still areas of cloud come and go across the day, particularly on that western coast. As we head through towards the afternoon, that front moves in from the west. It brings more cloud on towards that western coast, and eventually we'll find that wet weather on towards parts of Nelson as well. So perhaps as we go towards the end of the day, some heavier falls of rain there. But generally, I think just areas of cloud to watch out for as we head through the daytime, but turning cloudier up through likes of Nelson and Marlborough through the afternoon, and that rain pushing in. One or two heavier falls not out of the question, particularly about the ranges of the Nelson region. But we are looking at that wet weather sticking with us, but while we keep hold of that cloudier conditions across the northern parts, you can see the difference in our temperatures. Daytime highs around about 13s and 14s for Blenheim and crossing towards Nelson. Overnight lows, say about 7 degrees Celsius for Nelson. Where we get those clear skies down in the south though, it's still going to be another cold and frosty one for the likes of, say, Queenstown. Temperatures there reaching highs of around about 8 degrees Celsius, and our overnight minimums of, once again, a freezing or so for not just Queenstown but also down into Invercargill. As we head through in towards the weekend, we are going to find that wet weather sticks with us, and as areas of low pressure continue to wrap this cloud and wet weather across the North Island. Some heavier falls perhaps in towards parts of the east coast. Once again, worth keeping an eye on the severe weather watches and warnings in case we issue anything for those areas as we head through the weekend. But you can see as we go through Saturday, these low pressures just dumbbell around each other with that wet weather feeding on towards the eastern coast, also on towards the eastern coast of the South Island as well. So a bit of an unsettled story as we head in towards the weekend. But for today, for Thursday and also through to Friday, for many of us, there's plenty more dry weather still to come. That's it from me. There's more at metservice.com.